Picking your server in Cookie Run Kingdom is the most important decision you can make. Or is it? In today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about the main differences between the pure vanilla server, Holly Berry server, and Dark Cacao server in Cookie Run Kingdom, and what decision you should make when starting an account. So I'm going to give you guys a list of all of the major differences and everything that's the same between the servers. So first, guys, we're going to go into detail on how and why these servers are different, and then at the end of the video, if you want to skip to that, we're just going to go to like the conclusion of what server you should pick when starting the game. Alright, guys, so let's hop into our first major difference, which is progression. Progression in these servers is obviously different because Cookie Run is not a game where you just go and spend a lot of money and you automatically have everything you need. It is a very time-consuming game. Not in terms of like throughout your day it takes so much time to do stuff. In terms of it takes a long time to get all the upgrades done. For example, the difference between the Dark Cacao server and the pure vanilla server is absolutely huge, because they have had much more time to progress on the pure vanilla server. They've had about a year and a half to progress, whereas the Holly Berry servers had about a year to progress. The Dark Cacao servers had maybe about a little bit less than a year to progress. So yeah, guys, that is the major difference. So guys, what I mean by progression is how far the kingdom is actually built up. So guys, what I mean by production-wise, I mean like your labs. In the pure vanilla server, you're more likely to have all these labs done. On the Holly Berry server, you probably have a lot of them, or a good amount of them completed. Probably not all of them yet, because it does take a long time to actually get all these labs done. And in the Dark Cacao server, you probably have barely any of these labs done. Same with cookie houses, cookie productions, and everything just in the kingdom in general is just a lot more upgraded. Probably have a lot more reserves of resources if they've been playing a while on that server. And yeah, just all around more progress in the server the longer the server's been open. Now, number 2 on this list is going to kind of tie into progression, which is cookie ascensions and levels and stuff like that. So guys, on my account, I have almost every epic cookie to 5-star, except for Candy Crapper Diver and also the new macaron cookie, which I haven't pulled much of. But other than that, I have every 5-star cookie, and we're already working on ascensions. Now, when you're playing on a newer server such as the Dark Cacao server, you haven't had as much time to summon. Not to say that you can't have all the ascended cookies, because you definitely can. It's just the more free-to-play players and the majority of the player base is not going to have that. Whereas the majority of the player base on pure vanilla or Holly Berry is going to have a lot more of ascended cookies, a lot more ascended skills, even like the 5As and stuff like that. You'll see a lot more 5As on the pure vanilla server than you'll see on the Holly Berry server, and then so on and so forth with the 5As on the Dark Cacao server, depending on if you're a whale or not. Now, whales, it's a different story because most of them have their ascensions. It's just the progression of the kingdom is not quite there yet. So the general player base and ascension levels of the players, free-to-play players, casual players on the pure vanilla server is going to be a lot higher of that than something like the Holly Berry server or the pure vanilla server, because people have been playing there for longer, so their cookies are more ascended. You can see rank differential a bit different. So like, for example, on Holly Berry, around Masters 3 is where it gets kind of sweaty, and I would say Masters 4, Masters 5 is where it gets kind of sweaty. You'll also see a lot higher power teams, a lot higher ascension teams in the diamond ranks than you will see on here, the Holly Berry server, and definitely the Dark Cacao server. The easiest example that I could give would be this player right here. This guy has a 3-star BTS cookie, 4-star Finn, and a 1A cotton cookie that is in Masters 4 right now in Holly Berry. This player in pure vanilla server would probably be at the lower ranks of diamond if they were in the PV server. Not to mean that the meta shift or anything like that, but meaning that the player base has been playing longer, so their cookies are more ascended. So people that have been playing longer are going to be in higher ranks versus here, where the people that haven't played as long could get to a higher rank, potentially. Same can be said for the Dark Cacao server as well. I know in the Dark Cacao server, there's people that run level 60 cookies that are in Masters 2, so that's a big telltale right there. So guys, when the game first came out, Pure Vanilla was the first server available. So that means most of the whales went to the Pure Vanilla server, and then it slowly trickled down from there. So I would say there's a medium amount of whales on the pure Holly Berry server, and then there's a these kind of small amount of whales on the Dark Cacao server, because most of the big whales are playing on the pure vanilla server already. But with all that being said, guys, the more the time progresses through the game, the more time that each server has to catch up to the other server, especially when there's like a month of downtime between updates and no one's having to use their resources on stuff or events for the updates. They can just feed it into Progression of their kingdom. Whereas the PV server is mostly maxed out already, there's a limitless growth for our servers right now. Like, I would say the Hollyberry and Pure Vanilla servers are actually super close to completion. The only difference I would say now is really just the whales. The whales are very different. The whales of the PV server could absolutely destroy the whales on the Hollyberry server, but I believe the player base from the Hollyberry server is getting quite close. I don't think we're there yet. I still think we have maybe a couple months, 3-4 months, before we can actually catch up to the Pure Vanilla server, but I feel like we're getting really close into that point where we're caught up with the PV server, because there's not much more room for growth for them. Alright guys, now we're going to hop into the reasons why it doesn't matter what server you pick. This is going to be a very short and simple list. Number 1, the meta does not matter whatever server you choose. The meta will always be the same across servers because the cookies do the exact same thing across every server of the game. There's no ability that one server gets over the other. So, for example, right, Candy Diver cookie can't be good on the Pure Vanilla server and be shit on the Hollyberry server. It just doesn't work like that. The cookie is bad across all servers, right? Feeding into that more, this means that any cookie that you think is good or you watch videos for, as far as like tier list videos, team videos that I post or other YouTube creators post, they should work across every single server. Now, like I said, you're gonna have to take a look at what the other team has, because some teams will get absolutely destroyed by some other comps. And the power difference and stuff like that can make a pretty big difference, but overall the meta doesn't shift because of a different server, because the cookies are the exact same. So guys, I guess what I'm trying to say here is server doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is, do you want to be in a server full of whales and people that have played the game for 2 years? Or do you want to be into a server that is newer, where the players have only played the game for 6 months? I mean, as far as progression goes, yeah, it would be a lot easier to catch up in a Dark Cacao server. It'll also be a lot easier to get up in rank. So if you want to challenge yourself more, maybe I would put yourself in a position of the PV or Hollyberry server. I think the game offers a good range of playtime. So if you want like a medium difficulty, maybe go for the Hollyberry server. If you want a harder difficulty, go for the PV server. The meta and everything stays the same, like I said before. So I mean, as long as you build those cookies up, build the good cookies up on each account or the account you choose, you should still be set to go. There's not going to be much of a difference there if you're building those cookies up, building the toppings correctly, and getting your labs up. It just might be a harder time in the long run because of the labs being so built on PV. That's why I said it's probably the harder server to play on. Hollyberry is the medium server to play on, and Dark Cacao is the easiest server to play on. So it depends on what you guys want to do with your cookie run stuff. If you want to be like a sweat lord and meta lord, then go play on the PV server or Hollyberry server. If you don't, if you want to take the game casually and get up in rank and get a lot of gems so you can summon, just play on the Dark Cacao server. There's no problem with that. Because, I mean, honestly, if you're just playing casually, there's no need to be a sweat lord and sweat it out. You can just play on that server and be up in the high ranks and get a lot of gems for it. Because at the end of the day, guys, this is just a cookie collection game. So the main goal being to do gacha and collect cookies and ascend those cookies, level up those cookies. Gems is your #1 way to do that. So guys, in conclusion, I would say if you're a newer player that's not looking to sweat, that's looking to have a casual experience, play on the Dark Cacao server. Maybe if you want a little bit more, maybe if you want more of a challenge, play on the Hollyberry server. And maybe if you want a pretty hard challenge for free to play, then play on the PV server. Now, if you're a Giga Whale, you could absolutely dominate the Dark Cacao server. So maybe play something like the Hollyberry server, or play something like the PV server, because I mean, you're gonna be spending money to get gems and summons anyways, so might as well make it more of a challenge on yourself. But anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. What are your thoughts on my opinions today? Leave them in the comments below. I love to hear your guys' opinions, whether they're against my opinion or with my opinion. It doesn't really matter. I like hearing everyone's opinions to you know, grow the community, grow my thought process, and grow my knowledge on the game even more. So guys, I hope you enjoyed it for real. And maybe if you guys want, drop a little subscribe on the channel. And check us out on twitch.tv/you2can'tsee me. We stream there every day playing Cookie Run Kingdom. So guys, I hope to see you guys there. And yeah, guys, bye-bye.